Hi everyone, this is Raghuram, Aptitude Trainer. In this video, let us learn about ratio and proportions. In the first part, this is the first part. In this part, we shall learn the basics and simple problems. Let us see the meaning of ratio and proportion and some basics of these, the ratio and proportion. First of all, the ratio. The ratio, we take the ratio between two quantities with the same units. Same units means one thing in kgs, one thing in grams. We should not get like this. So both must be in same units, that is same kgs or same in grams. Two quantities. Suppose if we take A, B, both must be in the same units, that is something in kgs, A kgs and B kgs, or A grams, B grams, or both in liters, A liters, B liters. That is, so to compare two quantities of same units, we use ratios. Generally, ratios are written by A by B or A is to B. So this is called is to. A is to B. We call this as A is to B. So generally we can also write A by B. This is nothing but division, something like a division. So these are not actual quantities. Suppose in a mixture of water, salt water, so the salt and water are in the ratio 1:5. Suppose if I say like this, so 1:5. So this is the first one, 1:5. 1 is the salt and 5 is water. Out of 6 units, so 1 plus 5 is 6. Out of 6 units, 1 unit is salt and 5 units are water. So we can say like this, but these are not actual quantities. So 1:5 is just a ratio of 6. So out of 6 liters, 1 liter is salt and 5 liters is water, something like this. So actual quantities may be different. Something like if this is 10 liters, this will be 50 liters. 1 into 10, 5 into 10. 10 is to 50. 10 liters salt and 50 liters water. So total consists of 60 liters. That is, out of 6, 1 unit per salt, 5 unit per water. Something like we say that. So A is to B. This is the ratio. This is the meaning of ratio. A is to B. To compare two quantities of same units. Unit is nothing but kgs, liters, something like this. Okay. A is to B. These are not actual quantities. 1, 5 are not quantities. It may be something like 10:50. So after cancellation by 10, so 10 ones and 10 fives, we get the ratio 1:5. So ratio and proportion topic is very important in every competitive exams like bank POs, bank clerks, RRB, railway recruitment exams, and placement exams. So in each and every competitive exams, ratio and proportion is very important. It is important not only for this topic but important for the other topics also. In other topics we may get ratios and proportions. So these basics, in this first part I'll explain some basics about ratio and proportion. So just now we have seen the meaning of ratio. What is the proportion? Later we shall see. So let us see some types of ratios. Later we shall learn the meaning of proportion. And the first type of ratio, we can say that duplicate ratio. So what is a duplicate ratio? Suppose if I take x is to y. So x is to y. So the duplicate ratio of x is to y is x square is to y square. Something like, suppose the ratio is between two quantities is 2:5. The duplicate ratio, sometimes you may get question like this. Find the duplicate ratio. What is the duplicate ratio of 2:5? So what do you duplicate? Just get squares. 2 square is 4, 5 square is 25. This is the duplicate ratio. The first type is duplicate ratio. The second type is sub-duplicate ratio. Sometimes you may get question like this. Find the sub-duplicate ratio of x is to y. So sub-duplicate ratio of x is to y is the square root of x is to square root of y. So duplicate is square, sub-duplicate is square root. Something like if I take 9 is to 25. 9 is to 25. Subduplicate ratio of 9 is to 25 is root 9 is to root 25. What is the square root of 9 is 3 is to 25 is 5. So subduplicate ratio of 9 is to 25 is 3 is to 5. We have seen duplicate and subduplicate. Now triplicate ratio. Suppose a ratio is like this, x is to y. The triplicate ratio is nothing but cubes of those ratio. That is x cube is to y cube. So duplicate is a square and triplicate is cube. Sometimes you may get questions in competitive exams, any competitive exams. Find the triplicate ratio of 2 is to 5. So what do we get? 2 cube is to 5 cube. What is 2 cube? 8 is to 5 cube is 125. So the triplicate ratio of 2 is to 5 is 8 is to 125. Something like we get the fourth type, subtriplicate. So we have seen subduplicate is duplicate, subduplicate, that is square and square root. Here triplicate, subtriplicate, cube and cube root. So something like the subtriplicate of x is to y is given by cubed root of x is to cubed root of y. Now that subtriplicate ratio of 8 is to 125, we can have cubed root of 8 is to cubed root of 125. That's nothing but 2 is to 5. Sometimes you may get questions like this. They give you a ratio x is to y. Find the inverse ratio of x is to y. That's nothing but 1 by x is to 1 by y. Inverse. X inverse is 1 by x, y inverse is 1 by y. Getting LCM and something like you get y is to x. So no need to take x 1 by x and y 1 by y. Directly you can get what's the inverse ratio of x is to y. Directly we can write y is to x. Something if we take an example 2 is to 5. What is the inverse ratio of 2 is to 5? Directly we can write it as 5 is to 2. No need to take 1 by 2, 1 by 5. Getting LCM and doing some simplification, directly we get y is to x. Something, so 2 is to 5. Inverse ratio is 5 is to 2. See the sixth type, compound ratio. Suppose if we get a is to x, first one, and b is to y, second one, c is to z, third one. Sometimes we have to find the compound ratio of three ratios. Compound ratio of three ratios. A is to x, b is to y, c is to z. Just multiply the first terms is to second terms. That is first multiplication of first terms. A into b into c is to multiplication of second terms. That is x, y, z. Got it? The multiplication of first terms a, b, c. A, b, c is to x, y, z. Second terms x, y, z. This is called compound ratio. Let us take an example. 1 is to 2 and 3 is to 5 and 1 is to 4. Suppose if I take three ratios, you get questions like this. Get the compound ratio of these three ratios. What do we do? First terms are 1, 3, 1. Multiplication. 1 into 3 is 3. 3 to 1 is 3. 3 is 2. Multiplication of second terms. 2, 5, 4. 2 5s are 10 and 10 4s are 40. 3 is to 40. 3 is to 40 is the compound ratio of these three ratios. We have seen the meaning of ratio and types of ratios. Now let us come to proportion. What is a proportion? So proportion is the equality of two ratios. So I can take two ratios, a is to b and x is to y. Suppose the two ratios are same. So just we can put equals, or we can also write a is to b is same as, I am writing two colons here, two colons, and x is to y. That is 2 is 2's. that is A is to B is same as X is to Y. We can write is equals to or two colons like this. A is to B is same as, we call it as is same as X is to Y. So if the two ratios, to compare the two ratios, we take proportion. That is, if two ratios are same, something like if we take 2 is to 5 is same as 4 is to 10. So 2 is to 5 is same as 4 is to 10. So cancelling by 2, 2 2s are 2 5s, same you get like this. So 2 is to 5 is same as 4 is to 10. So to compare two ratios, so two different ratios also we can compare. So we take this proportion. Here in this case, if we take this one, mainly we write like this. Mostly we write like this. A is to B is same as X is to Y. Here in this case, A is called first proportion, B is called second proportion, X is called third proportion, Y is called fourth proportion. So sometimes in the questions they tell like this: A comma B comma X comma Y are in proportion. They say like this: A, B, X, Y are in proportion. If they are in proportion, directly we can write A is to B. The first term's ratio is same as third and fourth proportions. We write like this. And here also the middle one, B and X, are called means. M-E-A-N-S, means. B and X are called means. And first and last, that is A comma Y, are called extremes. A and Y, that is the first term and last term, are called extremes. The middle one, B and X, are called means. Suppose a proportion is like this: A, B, C, D. A is to B same as C is to D. Then A, D, the first one and fourth one are called extremes, and the middle one, B and C, that is second and third proportion, B, C, are called means. Here we have a point. Suppose A, B, C, D are in proportion, then product of extremes is equal to product of means. That means AD is equals to BC. So AD is equals to BC. Suppose A, B, C, D are in proportion, then we have a point AD is equals to BC. Suppose we may get only three terms, A, B, C. They may give you only three terms, A, B, C, and say that A, B, C are in proportion. That means A is to B is same as B is to C. That is, mean term is only one. Here extremes are AC and means is only mean, only single mean, that is B. Here we have a point, mean square, that is B square, is equals to product of extremes. Mean square is equals to product of extremes. That is, mean second term square, second proportion square, is equals to first product of first and third proportion. B square is equal to AC. Or we can also have B is equals to A into C under square root. So you get questions like this. They give you only two terms and find the third proportion. How do you find third proportion? So C is equals to B square by A. They may give you first and last and find the mean term. So suppose A, C are the first and third proportions. Find the mean proportion. That means B is equal to square root of A. Something like so. Out of the three, they may give you only two of them and ask you to find the other one. So using this formula, B is equal to square root of AC, we can find any one of the terms. This is the meaning of proportion. The proportion is nothing but comparing two ratios. So we may have like this: A, B, C, D are in the proportion. 4 terms are in proportion, or only 3 terms are in proportion. If 4 terms are in proportion, how do you write? A is to B is same as C is to D. Or we can also write A is to B is equals to C is to D. Here in this case, only 3 terms can be in proportion. that is the middle term may be equal, that is B is equal to C. So we write only three terms, A, B, C. So if A, B, C are in proportion, that means A is to B is same as B is to C. Now we shall see comparison of ratios. So something like we may get X is to Y is greater than A is to B. X is to Y is greater than A is to B. It can be written as X by Y is greater than A by B. So we can compare two ratios like this. If X by Y is greater than A by B, then we write X by Y, the first ratio is greater than the second ratio, A is to B. Now let us see the main two terms, componendo and dividendo. Whenever we get like this, A by B is equal to C by D, or we can also say that this is in proportion, A is to B is same as C is to D. So we get a componendo. First we shall see componendo. What is componendo? Adding the denominator to the numerator on both sides, that is A plus B by B is equals to C plus D by D. So if A is to B is equals to C is to D, that is they are in proportion, then componendo A plus B is to B is same as C plus D is to D, that is A plus B by B is equals to C plus D by D. So this is called componendo. So what is dividendo? In the place of plus just put minus. Here in this case we put just minus. That is, if A by B is equal to C by D, A by B is same as A is to B. We can also say A is to B or A by B. So then A minus B, that is subtracting the denominator to the numerator on both sides. That is A minus B by B is equals to C minus D. This is the denominator here. So C minus D by D. This is called dividendo. Componendo, adding the denominator to the numerator, D to C and B to A, and dividendo, subtracting the denominator to the numerator, that is B to A and D to C, that is A minus B by B, C minus D by D. That is called componendo and dividend. Now we can have both componendo and dividendo. The componendo and dividend both we can apply. So here that is A plus B by A minus B is equals to C plus D by C minus D. This is called dividendo. Componendo, dividendo, both. Numerator componendo, denominator dividendo. So what is componendo? Adding the denominator to the numerator, that is A plus B, that is C plus D. That is called componendo, numerator, and dividendo, denominator. That is, what is dividendo? Subtracting B to the, that is denominator to the numerator, that is A minus B, and C to D, that is C minus D. So componendo numerator, dividendo denominator. So combinedly it is called componendo and dividendo. It is useful in proportion problems. This is the basics. Till now we have seen about ratios and proportions. In next video we shall see the problems related to ratio and proportion which may be expected in any competitive exams.